Jax investigates the city and U.S. government buying up land around a local military base. The government says it's for various reasons, including conservation, but there are political undertones to prevent property from possibly being sold to foreign interests.
Action News Jax Ben Becker reports numerous property deals helped land an exclusive local private country club millions of dollars in taxpayer money.
Timuquana. It calls itself one of Florida's premier private country clubs. And as you can see from Google Earth, Timuquana is located in Ortega, nestled along the St. Johns River, just north of NAS Jax. And thanks to that location near the naval base, the exclusive club for the local rich and powerful is landing a windfall of taxpayer cash.
Transparency is important to you.
It is important to me.
Councilwoman Randy DeFore represents this area. In an Action News Jax investigation, I asked her whether a multi-million-dollar property deal should have ever been allowed to happen. Since 2020, the city and the Navy have signed off on 1, 2, 3, 4 contracts worth a combined $12.5 million for 214 acres of Timuquana property. To put that in perspective, an acre of land is about the size of a football field. The city shares more than $3.1 million via state grant money, made possible because of a 2017 ordinance introduced at the request of Mayor Lenny Curry. It allows the city and Navy to collaborate on encroachment protection projects within the military influence zone of Duval County naval bases.
Does it feel like a blank check?
No, I don't think it was a blank check.
The money for Timuquana is for what's called a restrictive easement. In other words, the Navy and the city paid Timuquana to prevent it from selling its land for commercial and residential construction in perpetuity. Here's another look at Timuquana's property, and here's the site survey overlaid on top of it. These 214 acres of easements are what you bought as taxpayers.
We do not want to see malign foreign influence in the state of Florida.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has awarded millions of dollars in state grants all across Florida to U.S. military installations for various reasons, including security. This comes amid growing concerns from national lawmakers about countries like China acquiring land near bases, which could be used to spy on our armed forces. According to the USDA's latest report, nearly 37.6 million acres of U.S. agricultural land were foreign-owned at the end of 2020, but mostly by Canada. However, China owns slightly less than 1% of foreign-held acres. The Navy and the city say these easements are to prohibit what they claim is incompatible development.
Over the course of several decades, I've heard rumors at any given time that they were thinking about developing it.
But rumors, nothing substantiated.
Correct.
I emailed the Navy to ask for the appraisal of the Timuquana easements to find out if taxpayers are getting a good deal. The Navy refused to release it, saying it compromises confidential commercial information. I also asked the city of Jacksonville for the appraisal and was told the city does not have and has never had any appraisals on the Timuquana Country Club property related to these easements.
Is the payment too much? Could be too little.
Dale Carson is Action News Jax law and safety expert. Carson's concerned that a city appraisal didn't happen. He points out that the city's own municipal code requires at least one appraisal for land purchases above $100,000 and 2 for more than $500,000. There's also the state statute. It appears to create a process that would possibly limit physical obstructions within a 10 nautical mile radius of public use or military airports, raising the question to Carson why the multi-million-dollar payments are even needed in the first place.
It is ultimately money that we are controlling, and we're being used as a mechanism, a funnel, to distribute those funds. So as a result, we ought to be knowing what it's about, why it occurs, and is it appropriate?
As for Councilwoman DeFore,
The city, as a party, is really a conduit.
she says while the city has agreed to participate in the state funding for the Timuquana easements, she doesn't believe the city has any joint ownership or property rights. But she does have an issue with the Navy.
I don't know why the military isn't showing what the appraisal is. I think they should.
And one more thing, the Navy and the city have another 2 years to spend $5 million for an additional Timuquana easement, bringing the total to potentially $17.5 million. A Timuquana leader declined to comment on my report, but I learned some of the public money the club received is being used for course renovations. That's perfectly allowable. It also makes the money non-taxable. For coverage you can count on, Ben Becker.